Welcome to Rusty Shackelford's Grizzly Reviews. I'm Rusty Shackelford, and I just watched the Season 1 finale of Fear the Walking Dead. It's time to break it down. Fear the Walking Dead is a completely original story set in the universe of the original Walking Dead. The story follows several Los Angeles families as the events of the outbreak first take place and begin to unfold. So just to let you know, right out, if you like The Walking Dead, you need to watch this show. It takes everything that's good about The Walking Dead and just takes it in an entirely new setting, puts it over in Los Angeles, and we get a bunch of different kinds of characters and conflicts. If you've never watched The Walking Dead, this is a great time to jump in. There's really nothing from the original series that you need to carry on over here. It's interesting if you've seen The Walking Dead because you get a different look about the events unfolding, but there haven't been any characters carrying over for between the two series, and they said that's probably going to happen, but it definitely doesn't happen in season 1. You can be entirely captivated in this story and not need to go ahead and invest into this 5 seasons already that happened for The Walking Dead. Now, I recommend you watch the original series because it's one of the best things on television, but it's not required. The biggest difference I'd say between the two series is pacing and time before payoff. The Walking Dead starts out at a much quicker pace, but I feel like you really don't earn anything from the show, nothing beyond zombies, until the second season, while Fear the Walking Dead starts out trying to lay an already complex family structure with a lot of drama before the zombies hit the fan. And part of that's the reason things take so long to really get going. Some people are really going to hate that. They don't want to hear about a son's drug problems and deal with it for several episodes before you really start to get into the mix of things. But I feel that ultimately adds tremendously to the show's strength. We see a lot of animosity and a lot of care and concern and a lot of just the complex relationships overall about trying to love people that ultimately put you at odds with them before you have to go and deal with zombies and the military and anything else that really makes their lives difficult. By seeing these relationships begin to unfold, we really become invested in the characters and a lot more than, oh, hey, there's a monster chasing you. It makes them more relatable. It makes them more interesting. If you're familiar with the more recent seasons of The Walking Dead, then it's probably something familiar to you. There's a lot of slow episodes mixed in throughout the seasons. Some people, really don't like those. And I, while they're going on, sometimes they're annoying because it really takes away from the pace. But I feel like they set up some of the best episodes at the same time. You get a change of pace that allows the intensity to not feel so monotonous. And you also lay out some nice structure for conflict to matter in a lot of different ways. The main characters in this consist mostly of a pseudo-modern family where you have the Clark family made up of Madison, the mom, Alicia and Nick, the kids, and her now boyfriend Travis Manawa, and his son and ex-wife Lisa Ortiz. The main point of conflict comes early on when Nick Clark is hospitalized for a drug-related incident, and this is obviously something that Madison and Alicia Clark have been through before, and Travis Manawa is trying to be, a caring boyfriend, trying to be involved in their life. This is where you really start to see Madison Clark show her strong points that she's ready to handle bad situations. She's obviously been through a lot before. I really hope they start to explore some of her past in season 2, maybe with her ex-husband or just the past drug issues that Nick Clark has gone through. But you really start to see some strain on the family and the complexity there early on in the first 2 episodes, and that plays a larger part later on. And then also it strains Travis's relationship with his son, Chris. He's obviously not trusting of Travis's new relationship with Madison and all the stuff that means for his previous family. And so we get to see a lot of nice family drama playing itself out that might even be an interesting story without zombies thrown in. And then we toss in zombies on top of that. Additionally, then they mix in another family called the Salazar family they're all roped in together out of both necessity and compassion, and that leads to a complex relationships all before they begin their run-in with the military and the collapse of society. All of this really reminds me of season 3 of the original Walking Dead, with all the conflict that happens with the governor. There's a lot of structural conflict, a lot of conflict with police forces, with military, and it feels kind of what the people inside the governor's city probably had to go through, where you have a lot of questioning, are these people above me, out there for my best interest, is everything going okay? And a lot of people having false senses of security, like everything is going to be all right and that we're definitely safe within these walls. This leads to probably actually kind of a lot of different conflict than we're used to in The Walking Dead. If you're not familiar with the timeline, all this happens, within the first couple of days of the outbreak really starting to take fold. While in The Walking Dead, things have been going on for a while. All of the existing power structures are pretty much gone. And here, we still have the U.S. military. There's still some city government and local government and state government, all that stuff to deal with. And so, questioning these forces is a lot less likely than in the Walking Dead timeline. Society as we know it still exists. It's just taken a hit. And so people are probably a lot more trusting of government officials than you would be of a strange town that you've never seen before that still had some kind of governance or safe haven. The strain on that relationship and the reality as it starts to set in on a lot of characters of that, hey, the world is not going to be okay, is really a nice evolution that we don't get to see in The Walking Dead. When things start in episode 1 of The Walking Dead, everything's already collapsed. And so people have already adapted. The only person that's coming to terms with things is Rick. And it's just a lot different journey. We get to see people who aren't ready to do what is necessary, and a lot of people that are probably a little too eager to take extreme action. Towards the end of the season, you get a lot of really great climax in this conflict, and we're also introduced into probably one of the more unique characters in the series, Strand. He is, to me, a very lovable roguelike character. You're not really sure if he's going to be your best friend or if he's just going to dump you by the wayside as things get difficult. Kind of really gives me a great Han Solo vibe, and that'll be really interesting to see as things unfold next season. You don't get a ton of him, but what you do get, I think, really adds a lot to the story. Luckily, all this character conflict and setup does lead to a really great payoff and a good conclusion for the season. I definitely got most of what I wanted out of the season, and what I didn't get looks like it's set up for season 2. So very strong execution from a production and direction style. Not a lot left wanting after the first season. All in all, if you like zombies, or you like The Walking Dead, or you like just intense TV shows, give this show a shot. The only reason I would not recommend this show is if you watched the later seasons of The Walking Dead and were not a big fan, but things are rearranged around enough that you may even still like this show. In the end, I'm going to have to give Fear the Walking Dead a strong 9 out of 10. The show has a lot of potential, it executes on it well, it gives you some real payoff, and it sets up the future for a lot more to come. I can't wait for the next season, and I hope that you enjoyed it as much as I did. I'm Rusty Shackelford, and this has been Rusty Shackelford's Grizzly Reviews.
And we had no choice but to abort the mission. But during the evacuation, astronaut Mark Watney was killed.